It's the middle of the night. I watched Victor Frankenstein, whatever, the Del Toro, the new one, and I can't sleep now. But not because the movie was scary and it did what it was supposed to do. I can't sleep because the movie was so bad. It was the worst Del Toro, whatever, how do you say his name? Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. It was the worst Guillermo del Toro movie I've ever seen. But it was also worse than, like, other shit that I've seen. Like, it was so boring. It was lifeless as the corpses that are spread around. The acting was atrocious. God, it was bad. Except for, Charles Dance, of course, was perfect as, the old evil father. But he was not supported. I'll get to that later. In terms of, like, the storytelling. The storytelling was shit. The script was weak. It was trying to do 5 million things and then did none of those things. I know a lot of people liked it. I think because the bar is so low for cinema, but my bar is high for Del Toro. Like Hellboy, Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, like groundbreaking, beautiful, deep films that had things that this film does not have at all. And the main thing is good storytelling, good acting, and engaging characters that make you want to keep watching them. Why do you watch something? Because you want those characters to succeed, or they're interesting enough that you get pulled along by their stories. They don't have to be perfect, obviously. But Victor Frankenstein, we know that the doctor is the monster. Like, everybody knows that. That's not this ooh, aha thing. It's not a reversal of a trope. It's the main thing that everyone, like, it's not groundbreaking. We know he's a piece of shit. We know the monster is the victim, kind of. Like, it's not, like, it's not innovative at all. Um, and he paints Victor Frankenstein as so purely evil most of the time that he's not engaging. The actor is not good. Like, he's overacting like shit. He's manic. He's not together with anything. It's all of the lines are thrown away. The girl, however, the girl and the Baron dude who was funding everything, they were the two worst actors. So Victor Frankenstein was not the worst actor. He was pretty bad. But the girl was so bad. And she had these beautiful lines. She had so many opportunities to maybe work with the director and give herself some more dimension, because that's what you need in a leading lady. You need an intelligent woman who is going to challenge the director, say, hey, this line needs more. Maybe this need, like, you need a bit of an ego. And this girl was nothing. She didn't captivate you. She didn't have any presence. Every single one of her beautiful, cool lines was thrown away. No weight to them. The same with the Baron. He had all these really cool, beautiful, well-written lines that he was just throwing away. Had no weight. The acting was like, you have all the money in the world. You can't. Did these people blow you? Did like they pay somebody off? Are they your nephews or great uncles? Like, why is the acting so abysmal? I don't get it. I don't get it. All the other films, the acting is great. You know what I think was wrong? The director, because the director is part of why acting is good or bad. Because he's supposed to pull these things from the actors. Okay? If your actor is a stupid, pretty fuck, right? Which a lot of them are. These cast wasn't super pretty though, so I don't even know why they were both ugly and useless. But, like, you have to pull these things out of these people. You have to tell them, no, you need more weight here. No, you got to pause there. Del Toro was looking at the fucking costumes and the 8 million moral themes he was trying to weave into this tapestry that was just as misshapen as Frankenstein himself, with all this stuff all sewn together poorly. The actor who played the monster did a wonderful job. His acting was flawless. I have nothing against his acting. But the girl and the Baron and Victor Frankenstein, oh God, they stunk. They stunk to high heaven. I mean, you'd have to find the most backwater Shakespearean, bug up his ass moron to do worse in like a multi-million dollar film. Like, I don't understand. Um, and um, so the very beginning of the film, you find out why Victor Frankenstein is such a piece of shit. But they didn't. Um, Again, with storytelling, you want the characters to be someone that you're at least interested in, even if you can't root for them. You want to know why he is the way he is, and that's what they do in the beginning. They do not show any of his relationship with his mother, which is presumed to pretty much be like more positive, obviously, than his father. I think he does say that she was distant because she's sad that she's in this forced relationship. But it would have been more interesting to me to show, because he you know he says he loves his mother so much he's lost his world, his anchor when she leaves, right? So, or when she dies. So they did not do any relationship building with the mother. They only showed his negative relationship with his father, and then they did that poorly. So you have Charles Dance, who's probably the best evil father. You know, he was the evil father in Game of Thrones. He's the scariest British dude that money can buy, and you did not give that perfect mythical being space to be Charles fucking Dance? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, he didn't have any space to be nasty. He had one little slap against the kid that barely drew blood. He's telling him he has to become a surgeon, and giving him little lessons and shit. But it's framed in almost like the camera angles are shit. They're not capturing the sadness of the little boy. They're not capturing his trauma from being treated this way. It's shot like, a sitcom is shot, like that far away from the actors. No, you want more close-ups for that. You want to like feel the child's pain, and we didn't feel his pain. And they directed the child actor poorly. I'm not going to talk about whether the child actor was good or bad because that's not ethical. But he was not given good direction, and Dance was not given power in this way to like really showcase how nasty he was, so that you could then believe and understand why Victor Frankenstein became such a piece of shit later. They didn't show anything with him with the mother at all. And if you did that, if you showed why he missed her when she was gone, then you would have the forces of good and evil fighting in this character more. I think it was a big mistake to make him totally evil the whole time, or mostly just crazy and evil, and have him be more like doing good. And then his speech at the very beginning to all of the oh, by the way, don't listen to me if you don't want spoilers. I'll write that if I post this, but yeah, I'm just gonna spoil the shit out of it because it's not good enough to watch. Don't watch it. I'm telling you why you shouldn't watch it. So he gives this stupid lecture in the beginning about, man overcoming fucking death and whatever. But, like, there's nothing in the lecture, there's nothing in his actions that really shows us why he's doing this. It doesn't show us. Plenty of people lose their relatives. Not everybody brings corpses back to life. So why is he doing this? He's presumably not going to try to zap mommy back to life, right? Because she's sealed in a tomb. Maybe if his technology gets more advanced, but he's not going to do that. He's not trying to physically bring his mother back to life. Is he trying to prevent maybe other children from losing their mothers or their loved ones? He talks about preventing death a little bit in his lecture, but like, you're just reanimating dead flesh. That's not helping. And you're reanimating dead pieces of flesh together. And later on in the movie, there is this brief question of where is the seat of the soul, right? What part of you makes you you? Is it your brain? Is it your heart? It isn't explored in the movie fully. Again, one of those little hanging pieces that doesn't connect and isn't sewn together properly, in a bad way, not in a fun, helpful Frankenstein gothic monster way. But the theme that of where is the soul, what is the soul, that was not explored at all. That is the main thing you got to explore as a Frankenstein movie. What is the soul? The soul is not that bolt of lightning only, right? Because he has these memories of all these men that he is sewn up from. Like, he is multiple people, as well as this ineffable sort of divine spark as well. That's new. That's not any of these old people he's sewn together with. At least that's what's implied. Um, so what was I talking about? Okay, so the beginning, he's telling these people, okay, I've created this technology to use electricity to reanimate dead flesh. Why? Why are you doing that? He never explains fully why. Um, and I think that what would have been very cool from a storytelling perspective would be maybe to show him helping other children who also lost their parents, maybe like a little bit more with the mother, um, his own memories of her and another like kid losing a mother, and then him maybe preserving a woman instead of a man. We've had a male monster always. Why couldn't he have frozen somebody else's dead mama, right? And then brought her back to life. Just that one piece, not 50 people, just, or at least that woman's brain, and brought her back to life for some kid so that he wouldn't lose his mother. Something, just another direction that would make it make sense, other than just this manic, crazy, I want to be I want to be the man who trumps death somehow. Um, and also, the soul in general isn't explored at all, um, uh, other than, like the usual feelings sort of a thing. Um, and oh God, the girl was so, I can't explain. And then the girl was supposed to be the soul of the movie. She was supposed to be this beacon of like humanity and goodness and sweetness, and she was like tried to be a nun, and then she studied insects for some fucking reason. But like it, she she was it wasn't just her acting that was bad. I want to give her that. Her acting was the worst acting I've ever seen. But she also wasn't written well in the fact that she wasn't given much humanity either. She was like, and we are seeing this through Victor Frankenstein's eyes, and he falls in love with her, and he sees her as this sort of like perfect thing. Um, but they could have made her a little bit more human, a little bit more humor, maybe a little, just something to just make her feel more like a real person. And she fucking dies at the end, and he doesn't try to revive her. Like, what? What? Like, I was waiting for the bride of Frankenstein practically at the end, because I'm like, okay, the monster's asking for a wife. He can't die because he's magic now. And he didn't try to revive this woman that, like, I'm not going to say how, but he's the reason she ends up dying. Because, of course, you can tell she's going to die from the beginning. I feel like that's not even a spoiler in this type of story. The brother was boring. They didn't give any character other than the creature and maybe the Baron interesting emotional landscapes. And that's what set this movie apart from his other movies that were good, is that there was no emotional landscape that was rich enough in our main characters to make us give a fuck about what is going on and what's going to happen to them. And there's like this sweet moment at the very end where, Frankenstein's been this piece of shit the whole time, and then he like begs for forgiveness from the monster or whatever. But like, dude, like, nobody cares about you. And I understand that this was supposed to be a metaphor for the evil patriarchy and the evil rich men who think that they can do everything. And yes, this story was very apropos to our times, even though it was terribly carried out. It was apropos to our times because of this transhumanism movement that's going, because of Musk and this other stupid billionaire who's, I don't remember his name, but that dumb redhead dude looks like a vampire, and he's like controlling every single calorie that goes into his body, when the longest living person in the world was a woman who smoked every day and had dessert after every meal. Because again, where is the spirit? What makes people continue to live? like supposedly the creature could never die, he could just endlessly regenerate. But what if you pull all of his pieces apart? What if you like make sure the explosion explodes his brain, or like that wasn't made clear. Also, like the end was like, oh, the creature can't die, and he was sad about it, but now he has to figure out a way to like be happy about it. Fuck that. That's so weak. It was such a weak, boring, stupid ending to a long, boring, stupid movie that had that was bringing up all of these issues, not making good points about them, and then and not expanding on anything in any sort of intelligent way whatsoever. Um, like I did feel like a little bit of like a trans rights sort of vibe at the end of like the the dad like finally accepting the the son for what he is. The creature is his son, um, and also an erotic thing between them, which is fine. But then explore that a little bit more than just like a weird naked hug in the beginning. Do okay. Introduce something. You want to introduce an Oedipus theme? Then fucking do it. You want to introduce transhumanism or trans rights? Then do it. Do something with it. Don't just introduce all this shit and have all your magic colors. Del Toro did not get the actors to act, which is the main job of the director. Didn't bother doing that. And did not make sure that like engaging characters and engaging story were created in the initial script, because they were not. And like it's just not enough to just make your main character a piece of garbage because, oh, the rich men who think that they can try to control life are bad. That's not an interesting character. That's not a character that deserves our attention. Um, I think I think what was really missing in this movie was any sort of aspect of true feminine intelligence, uh, true feminine power that isn't just a perfect doll that says pretty lines not very well. Um, Mary Shelley, I didn't know this until because of this movie, more stories about her are coming out. I didn't know that she lost a baby. Guillermo, okay, so he had Victor Frankenstein drinking milk throughout the whole thing. Is it because he lost his mommy? Is it because, the milk is a secretion of the body, not a secretion of a grape or something? Um, but like, okay, so Mary Shelley lost a child before she wrote Frankenstein. She had one child that was healthy, and then she lost this child very late in pregnancy. And she had dreams of reanimating this child by the fire. Like she imagined, she had this horrible recurring dream of the corpse of the baby coming back to life. And anytime you lose a child, no matter how early or late or however, it's so traumatizing. When I'll share this because whatever. I had an abortion, and at the time, my boyfriend, who kind of pressured me into it at the time, he was the one who felt the guilt because he felt he was the one who really like created this death in a way. So he was having nightmares that this thing that was alive is now like more alive now, but in an undead way. Like it really affects the mind of a person to kill or hurt what one has created. And I feel like in this shitty movie, like they could have explored that, losing a child, losing a parent. Maybe that should have been the bookends of this. Losing a mom and then losing a child at the end. The trauma of that is real and deep, and there's a heavy grief with it, beyond petty horror. I did love the initial like reveal of the monster, the way he was standing. The actor who did the monster was, oh god, he was perfect. They definitely artificially made his voice more scary and maybe layered it. I don't know if that was that guy's voice. I'm not sure. But his actions to be this, to turn from almost from a reanimated corpse into a fully realized human was his journey. He did that perfectly. And when he first appears, not just the makeup, but the way that he's moving, that made the horror of Frankenstein real to me. I've never experienced that from a Frankenstein movie monster before. I never thought, oh my God, they made a corpse alive again. Or this isn't alive. Or like, I've never even seen a zombie movie where I felt like I'm watching a reanimated corpse. That was great. Like, the special effects, the makeup, the lighting, everything. That was great. That was so horrifying in the very beginning. But the grief is the horror, not the monster. The hatred, like the angst between the terrible relationships between parents and children, or tortured relationships. That's the scary part. That's the monster. It's not, oh, is the doctor the monster? Is the monster the monster? No, it's the monster is the human dominating desire to like create and then eat and kill that creation. And that happens in so many different ways. You know, we have abortion, which, yeah, I 100% obviously support a woman's right to choose, but you can't ignore that it's traumatic. You can't just kick the corpse under the bed. And they did not do that. They did not make the human connection between the monster and his creator meaningful or interesting at all, because he was just a piece of shit who was weird and crazy, and then the creature was kind of nice. Oh, it's sad that he's still alive. Like, who the fuck cares? Write something that's meaningful and make sure your actors are acting. I mean, you're a genius. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that easy to get lost in the forest. You know, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, to get lost in the trees for the forest. Like, he totally lost the forest for the trees. He looked at all the cool little details and the splashes of color and the symbolism and the shit, and did not tell a compelling, unified story about something. Just hinted at things and didn't expound on anything. I think if I were to write a Frankenstein story, which I would not do, I write comedy only. And honestly, the best Frankenstein movie to date is Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder. Because Gene Wilder helped write that shit. I don't know if most people know this. He wrote the better parts. If he had more control, it would have been better. But Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder wrote the best Frankenstein ever. And like no other movie is ever going to touch that movie. But if you're going to do it in a serious way and do it right, tell the feminine side of things. Explore the loss of the mother, the loss of the child. You did not do that. And I'm sad. But I'm sure that Del Toro will write something good eventually again. Or direct something good eventually again. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. And I'm sorry it took me so long to say it. But yeah, just don't watch it. It's not good.